God told me to warn you. You're going to be moving to a place with the name starting with. Have you ever felt a quiet pull towards something you could not explain, as if a chapter of your life was slowly turning before your eyes, even though you could not yet see the next page? There is a reason this message found you today. It is not about rushing anywhere or forcing anything to happen. It is about recognizing a feeling that has been growing inside you for longer than you realize. Somewhere deep within your heart, a subtle awareness has been forming, and it keeps returning during ordinary moments. It appears when you are looking out a window, walking alone, or imagining what your life could look like if you finally allowed yourself to step into a new environment. This message speaks directly to that feeling because there is something important here. Lately, you may have noticed that certain places, names, conversations, or ideas seem to appear more often than before.
It is almost as if life is gently introducing you to a destination before you ever arrive there. The interesting thing is that this is not only about geography. A place carries energy, memories waiting to be made, relationships waiting to be formed, and experiences that can shape who you become. The message I feel led to share is simple. There may be a location connected to your future whose name begins with a specific letter. And while you may not know exactly what that means today, your spirit already feels the possibility of change. Stay with this, because what matters most is not the letter itself, but what it represents. For a long time, you have been growing in ways that other people could not see. Some of your biggest transformations happened quietly. While others measured progress through visible achievements, you were learning patience, resilience, and trust through experiences that never appeared on a resume or social media post.
Those hidden lessons have been preparing you for a season that feels different from what came before. Sometimes a new place enters our lives not because we are running away from the past, but because we have finally become the person capable of embracing a different future. That realization can feel exciting and emotional at the same time, especially when part of you is still trying to understand what is changing. As you listen to these words, pay attention to the thoughts that naturally rise within you. Do not force answers. Do not search anxiously for signs. Simply notice what resonates, maybe a city, a town, a neighborhood, or even a place you have only heard mentioned briefly comes to mind. Maybe there is a location connected to a dream you quietly set aside years ago. Whatever appears in your heart, allow yourself to acknowledge it without judgment. Sometimes the first step toward a new chapter is not movement at all. Sometimes it is simply becoming aware that your story may be expanding beyond the boundaries you once believed were permanent. And what comes next may reveal why that feeling has been growing stronger with every passing day. There are moments when life begins speaking in whispers long before it speaks in clear directions, and you may be standing in one of those moments right now. The strange thing about personal transformation is that it rarely announces itself with certainty. Instead, it arrives through small feelings, unexpected curiosity, and a growing sense that your current surroundings no longer reflect the person you are becoming. You may have tried to ignore that feeling at first. You may have told yourself it was just a passing thought. Yet it keeps returning, not because something is wrong where you are, but because something within you is evolving. Don't miss what comes next, because understanding this shift can change the way you see your future. Think about how many times you have imagined a different version of your life, not a perfect life, but one where you feel more aligned, more at peace, and more connected to your purpose. Those thoughts were never meaningless. Every dream leaves a trace, and every sincere desire creates a pathway in the heart. What if the place connected to your next chapter is not random at all? What if it reflects qualities you have been seeking for years without fully realizing it? Sometimes we are drawn towards certain locations because they mirror the growth taking place inside us. The move itself is not the transformation. The transformation happens first, and then life begins creating opportunities that match it. You may also notice a mixture of excitement and hesitation. That is completely natural. Whenever something meaningful approaches, the heart often feels two things at once. One part wants to step forward immediately, while another part wants to hold on to what feels familiar. This inner tension does not mean you are confused. It means you care. It means you understand that every new beginning asks us to leave something behind, even if that something is simply an old version of ourselves. The people around you may not fully understand what you are feeling because much of this journey has been unfolding silently. Yet deep inside, you know that your perspective is changing, and once that happens, it is difficult to return to the way things used to be. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this message is that you do not need all the answers today. You do not need a map, a timeline, or a guarantee. All you need is the willingness to remain open. There is strength in openness because it allows life to reveal possibilities you may never have considered before. As the days ahead unfold, pay attention to repeated themes, recurring ideas, and places that seem to capture your attention without effort. These gentle nudges often appear before larger changes become visible. And while you may not yet understand why a certain place keeps appearing in your thoughts, your heart may already recognize something your mind is still learning to trust. Sometimes the clearest sign of a new season is not what is happening around you, but what is changing within you. You may have noticed that your priorities are no longer the same as they were a year ago. Conversations that once excited you may now feel empty, while simple things that never mattered before suddenly hold deeper meaning. This is not an accident. Growth often changes your vision before it changes your circumstances. It teaches you to see possibilities where you once saw limits. The reason this matters is because a future destination often begins as an internal shift long before it becomes a physical reality. There is something important here, and it starts with recognizing how much you have already changed.
Think about the experiences that shaped you during the quiet seasons, the moments when no one applauded your efforts, the days when you kept moving forward even though progress felt invisible. Those experiences built something valuable inside you. They gave you patience. They gave you wisdom. They taught you how to keep believing in yourself when external proof was nowhere to be found. Now, as you reflect on where your life is headed, you may realize that those lessons were preparing you for opportunities that require a stronger version of you. A new place is not simply about a different location. It is about stepping into an environment where the person you have become can continue to grow. What makes this journey meaningful is the way it seems to connect pieces of your story that once felt unrelated. A conversation from years ago, a dream you almost forgot, a place name you heard in passing, or an unexpected feeling when looking at a map may begin to make more sense.
Life has a remarkable way of weaving small details together over time. At first, they appear separate, but eventually a pattern emerges. You may not see the entire picture yet, and that is perfectly okay. The next chapter does not require complete understanding. It simply asks for trust in the process that has been unfolding all along. As you move forward, give yourself permission to imagine something bigger than what you currently see. Not bigger in terms of status or recognition, but bigger in terms of peace, purpose, and personal fulfillment. So many people spend years convincing themselves that their future must look exactly like their present. Yet deep down, you know life is capable of surprising you in beautiful ways. Stay with this, because the feeling pulling at your heart is not asking you to abandon who you are. It is inviting you to discover who you can become. And the more you listen to that quiet invitation, the more clearly the path ahead may begin to reveal it. A quiet realization may be starting to settle over you now. The future you have been imagining is no longer something that feels distant and unreachable. It is beginning to feel personal. It feels closer than before, not because everything has suddenly become clear, but because you are finally allowing yourself to believe that change can be a beautiful thing. For so long, you may have carried responsibilities, expectations, and routines that demanded most of your attention. Yet beneath all of that, there remained a small voice reminding you that your story was still unfolding. That voice never disappeared. It simply waited for the right moment to be heard. One of the most powerful things about a new beginning is that it often arrives when we stop trying to control every detail. There is a difference between forcing a path and preparing for one. Right now, your role is not to chase every possibility with urgency. Your role is to become aware of what genuinely resonates with your heart.
Certain places may continue appearing in conversations. Certain names may catch your attention unexpectedly. A location you never considered before may suddenly feel familiar for reasons you cannot explain. These moments are worth noticing because they reveal where your attention naturally wants to go. And our attention often moves toward what is meaningful long before we understand why. You may also find yourself reflecting on what home truly means. Many people think of home as a specific building or address, but home is often a feeling. It is the sense of belonging, peace, and alignment that allows you to be fully yourself. Sometimes we spend years searching for that feeling without realizing it. Then one day, through a series of unexpected experiences, we begin moving closer to it. The possibility of relocating is not simply about changing scenery. It can represent a deeper desire to live in a way that feels more authentic.
It can symbolize a readiness to create new memories, build new connections, and embrace opportunities that support who you are becoming. As these thoughts settle into your heart, remember that there is no need to rush the journey. Every meaningful chapter unfolds one step at a time. The important thing is that you remain open to the possibilities being placed before you. Continue paying attention to what repeatedly captures your curiosity. Continue listening to the quiet excitement that appears whenever you imagine a different horizon. The path does not need to be fully visible for it to be real. Sometimes clarity arrives gradually, and when it does, you realize that life has been gently guiding you all along. What comes next may help you understand why this feeling of movement has been growing stronger with every passing season. What if the feeling you have been carrying is not uncertainty at all, but anticipation waiting to be understood? Many people mistake the stirring of a new chapter for confusion because both can feel unfamiliar, yet there is a difference. Confusion drains your energy, while anticipation quietly awakens it. Even on days when you are tired, there may still be a small part of you imagining a different view outside your window, a different community around you, or a different rhythm to your daily life. That quiet imagination is worth paying attention to. It is often the heart's way of exploring possibilities before reality catches up with them. Looking back, you may notice that certain seasons of your life were necessary even when they were difficult to understand. Every delay taught you something. Every unexpected turn revealed a strength you did not know you possessed. Every period of waiting gave you an opportunity to grow roots before reaching for new horizons. Because of that growth, you are no longer standing where you once stood emotionally. You see life differently now.
You value different things. You have learned that true fulfillment comes not from chasing appearances, but from living in alignment with what genuinely matters. That inner maturity changes the kinds of opportunities that begin appearing around you. There is something remarkable about the way life introduces us to future chapters. It rarely arrives through one dramatic moment. More often it comes through a collection of small confirmations. A conversation feels significant. A place name appears more than once. An idea refuses to leave your thoughts. A sense of curiosity grows stronger instead of fading away. None of these moments alone provide the entire answer, yet together they begin creating a picture. Stay with this because sometimes the most meaningful direction comes through repeated gentle reminders rather than loud announcements. The heart often recognizes a path long before the mind can fully explain it.
As you continue forward, allow yourself to embrace possibility without demanding certainty. You do not need to know exactly where every road leads in order to take the next meaningful step. Trust the growth that has already happened within you. Trust the wisdom you have gained through experience. Most importantly, trust that your future is not limited to what you currently see. The person you are becoming deserves room to expand, explore, and thrive. And as the next chapter draws closer, you may discover that the place connected to your future is not simply somewhere you are going. In many ways, it is somewhere your heart has been quietly preparing to recognize for a very long time. Before this message comes to its close, take a moment and think about how far you have already traveled, not in distance, but in growth. The person listening right now is not the same person who faced those challenges, questions, and uncertain moments in the past. Life has been shaping you through experiences that seemed ordinary at the time, but later revealed their purpose. Every lesson, every unexpected encounter, and every quiet season added something valuable to your journey. When you look at yourself through that lens, you begin to understand that your story has never been standing still. It has been moving forward all along, even during the moments when progress felt invisible. The possibility of a future place whose name begins with a certain letter is not meant to become a puzzle that consumes your thoughts. Instead, let it serve as a reminder that life is larger than what you currently see. There are opportunities you have not yet discovered, people you have not yet met, and experiences that have not yet entered your world. The beautiful thing is that you do not have to force any of it. Your task is simply to remain open, curious, and willing to follow the path that feels aligned with your values and your growth.
When the right opportunities appear, they often carry a sense of peace rather than pressure. They feel less like a struggle and more like a natural next step. As you move through the coming days and weeks, pay attention to what brings genuine energy into your heart. Notice the ideas that continue returning with quiet persistence. Notice the places that spark hope instead of fear, excitement instead of doubt. Those feelings matter because they reveal what resonates with the person you are becoming. There may come a day when you look back on this season and realize that many small moments were pointing you toward a new chapter. At the time, they seemed unrelated. Later, they formed a picture so clear that you wondered how you ever missed it. Don't miss what comes next, because every chapter of your life still has something meaningful to teach you. And perhaps that is the most important message of all. Your future is not something to fear, chase, or control.
It is something to meet with openness and trust. Whether the place you eventually connect with begins with the letter already resting on your heart, or reveals itself in an unexpected way, what truly matters is who you become along the journey. The growth, wisdom, and self-understanding you gain are far more valuable than any destination. So carry this thought with you. Your story is still unfolding. Your path is still expanding, and there are beautiful possibilities ahead that you cannot yet fully see. Walk forward with confidence. Stay open to what life reveals, and allow yourself to welcome the next chapter with calm anticipation and a peaceful heart.